That does it. Thank you, Maria. Yeah, he's such a big help. I started like when he started, I love that card game. I haven't played a lot, so I'm not sure what card game you mean. Sorry. Oh, no need to thank me. I just did what any good maid should do. Hehe. No one else is in the room, you know. Alright, then I can drop the ad. Man, I just can't used to talking all stuffy. I went through doing my best with the headmaid still spouting stuff like, your manner of speaking is improper for a servant. Every single time we meet. Oh, swanky music. Yeesh, come on, just shove it, would you? You're a damn creep. No, you mustn't speak of her like that. Sorry, slip of the tongue. She just kinda gives me the willies, you know? Speaking of, you can drop the stuffy talk too, madame. Kinda awkward if only one of us is acting casual, you know? This is normal for me. If I attempted to talk like you, I'd freeze up out of nervousness. This is my casual. Fair enough. Guess that's what happens when you're raised well. I like that. Has a very regal feel about it. I don't think my upbringing is the only factor. Oh. But you know, upbringing is important. Worth a whole lot more than money, I'd say. I suppose. Thank you, Maria. You're always so compassionate. You betcha. They don't call me the Virgin Mary for nothing. I practically bleed compassion. Is that a cat? No, it's Cersei. You know, that might be true. You very well could be the reincarnation of the Mother of God. I don't know, you're supposed to laugh at that. It's just embarrassing if you take it seriously. Alone in the white-haired girl's room, Maria was acting much more friendly and relaxed as they conversed, as opposed to her no-nonsense attitude in the hallway. The two women were, as you could see, quite close. They had crossed over the wall separating master from servant and built a bond of friendship. And at some point they had begun to speak frankly with one another when no one else was around. Maria was the only person in the mansion around whom the white-haired girl felt comfortable being open. I imagine she very much enjoyed these moments of conversation. You wish to know who the head maid was. My. Are you sure you want to ask me that, master? Some questions are better left unasked for your own good. I have to say, madam, you have the prettiest fingers. Mine are all rough and dry and nasty. Think so? Mine haven't had the slightest bit of muscle. They're about as frail as dead branches. Oh, who needs beefy mitts anyway? I still think healthy-looking hands like yours are far more attractive. What's like about these things? Women all over the world dream of having hands like yours. Slender, feminine, and perfectly cared for? I don't know, just looking at them like the fire in my loins. Whoa, you got a crush on her? Makes me want to lick everyone, last one of them? Okay, she is literally a lesbian. Actually, can I lick him? Yep. That's basically all you missed for this door so far. It's strange. Can I run my tongue up and down all 10 of those sweet little digits? Come on, can I? What do you say? Stop that, Maria. Seriously. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh, Maria. Alright, how about those tea leaves turn out, madam? Alright. How did, the ones you imported? Well, the maids just adore it. They can't get enough of that aroma. Sure, I'd like to get a taste of it. If you end up, with extra, you think you could spare a sip for me, Teehee? Ah, this was, what was in the cups I dropped. Oh, really? Well, ain't that a crying shame? And Jacopo wouldn't have any of it? God, why does that man have such a stick up his ass? He went through all the trouble of making it for him, and he was busy. It's not his fault. Busy? You mean playing billiards, drinking bourbon, and puffing a damn cigar? They looked to us like they were just making small talk, but I'm certain their meetings have some importance to their business. It was imprudent of me to try and step into the men's world. That's just not right. I mean, you're his wife. Why shouldn't you be allowed into the room? It doesn't bother me. You don't have to pretend. Here's an idea. How would you like to have some of the tea now? Hot per mass. Oh god, she's such a victim. I can't wait until they reveal she's a secret state. No! So far she's like me. Nothing sadistic. Add a scoop of that and a tray of cookies, we have a perfect tea time. Singing the siren song, madam. But you really should be doing that with him. He would not have tea. I suspect he did not like it. I don't want it to go to waste, so... Madam, you know it's none of my business, and I have no place at all saying this, but it's impossible for a woman to file for divorce these days. You don't have to sit down and take it, not one bit. You're pretty well educated and still young. There's hope even if you do leave him. There are plenty of other men out there. You aren't obligated to stick with that arrogant jerk. He's just very busy right now. There you go again. There was a time when he was kind. He wasn't like this when we first met. Back then he was a little awkward, but a kind man. Him? A kind man? Yes, believe it or not. Indeed, when there was a time. She has Nazi syndrome. Say, Maria, would you mind giving me a little bit more of your time? I'd like to make some tea and we can talk. Alright, if you're telling me about when Jacopo was decent, I'm all ears. Indeed. Nobody was offering to suck on Nazi's fingers on the table. You never know what Kinzo would offer. As I'm sure you're aware, our parents arranged our marriage. But before I emigrated to this country to be married, I lived in a misty island nation. Portraits of my ancestors hung in the house where I lived. I remember as a child wincing in fear at the sight of them staring down at me. I don't want to think about that. My mother and father were constantly telling me to show them respect, as it was their hard work that kept our bloodline alive and well. However, they were fighting an uphill battle to do the same. It would have been clear to anyone reasonably perceptive that our house was coming tumbling down. Valuable furniture and paintings slowly disappeared, and eventually the portraits were gone too. As our house collapsed, so too did my parents' health deteriorate, robbing us of any source of income. And though I was educated, I lacked the skills necessary to obtain work. Just as we were about to run out of money and options, my parents received Jacopo's parents' marriage proposal. Both of our families stood to benefit from the arrangement. I had social status, he had wealth. We had what each other lacked. One needs more than money to make it in the world. Without at least a semi-reputable name attached to it, you're liable to get laughed out of most social gatherings. I first met Jacopo here in this country. We didn't even know what the other looked like until our wedding day. To be quite honest, I was scared to death at first. I was so nervous. What kind of man would he be? Was I to be wed to some middle-aged stranger? Why, we were not married because we'd fallen in love like a normal couple. But when I thought about our future, I shook with fear. But the man I saw through my veil at the wedding was remarkable. He was young, had strong masculine eyes, and at the same time he too appeared nervous. He was shaking so much, no even more than me. Saying that, the priest gave an impish little smirk when he asked Jacopo if he vowed his eternal love to me. I counted myself among the happy, and I still do. Crazy to think about seeing your future significant other at the wedding, I know, right? For in that moment I experienced true love. You wanted to hear about when he was kind to me? Well, after the wedding, we were given a week to ourselves. I suppose you could call it a honeymoon, though we didn't take a trip overseas, or even go very far at all. He looked at me with uncertainty and asked, "Where would you like to go?" I beg your pardon? That's what this week is for, right? I'll consider granting your request, so tell me where you want to go. This is all so sudden. Nothing? This whole engagement was for the moment. Normally we would plan a trip in advance. He looks like Satan's human disguise. But unfortunately our purpose is served so long that as long as we act the part. You must be disappointed that you have to plan your honeymoon as it's happening. No, let's speak clearly. I don't like it when people don't speak their mind. Oh, I'm sorry, but I am happy, even if this is a political marriage. Well, you're quite a positive thinker. Your parents say something to make you think that way? I am. Well, either way, if you're so glad to be in this arrangement, then hurry up and decide on a destination. Though there is a limit to how far we can go. If you want to take a trip, we'll consider it. What is something funny? It just seemed comical to me that our honeymoon has begun. We're only now deciding where we want to go. Not in a bad way, though. Glad our parents didn't arrange everything for us. Perhaps you've heard, but I'm quite sensitive to sunlight and not in the best of health. So I'd be rather trying to spend a full week out of the house. We can go on a trip, but if it's not too much trouble, speak up. Could you show me around town? I'm new to this country and unfamiliar with its customs. I'm rather afraid to go wandering about on my own. Show you around. Yes, would that be possible? On a rare bit of time off, you asked me to show you around town. Is that really the most exciting idea you have? I'm sorry. If there's somewhere you'd like to go, I'm fine with that. I'll accompany you anyway. As if I could drag someone who just professed being sickly all over the country. My God, I've lost all interest in a trip. Hello, what are you doing? Go get ready now. I beg your pardon? Didn't you want to see the town? You will show me around? You're the one who asked. Not like I have any other options, so yeah, I'll show you around. Thank you. Don't just stand there, you dullard. Get a move on. One moment, wait for me, please. I like how this is supposed to be him being nice. Oh, my Prince Charming. He hurriedly climbed into the carriage he had called for, a look of frustrated displeasure on his face. And then he had forgotten about me until that moment. He returned, grabbed me by the arm, and led me to the carriage. In retrospect, I realized he was not being very gentlemanly. Wait, let me turn the air on really quick. But I was pleased that he was making any attempt to interact with me at all. Get in the carriage, you dumb bitch. I want to get this over with so I can get to the brothel early enough. As the carriage trotted down the streets, I saw so many new things. This poor girl, I know, right? I had spent most of my time cooped up inside at home, so it was like stepping into an entirely new world. And add to that the rapid industrial advancement currently taking place. I saw men shouting back and forth as they smacked newspaper articles with the backs of their hands. I saw corner cafes crowded with cigar-smoking men break from work. It was like the hustle and bustle of a festival. But every festival has its underside. I also saw overworked men looking like they were on the verge of collapse, drinking water from the spigot on the side of the road. By way of contrast, I wore fine clothing and had a carriage at my disposal. I imagine every day was a struggle just for them to remain afloat. Had I not married a man, I too might have found myself on the streets in a similar situation. But it was not relief that spread through my breast at the sight of them. It was pangs of guilt. It felt to me like a life of opulence was wrong, sinful. It broke my heart to know I was living so much better than them. Jacopo snorted disapprovingly at me, seeming reading my mind, and then said, "The poor man who envies the rich covets his wealth and finds the ambition to make the same for himself. The rich man who pities the poor, thinking it his duty to give them offerings of philanthropy. To me, the latter is far more nefarious. Excessive charity will ruin a man, make him come to expect handouts. And then there are those with the wrong idea of pity, who let themselves fall down to the same place, mistakenly believing it will somehow make the poor feel better. What a joke. If you didn't do anything for them, you might as well encourage them to climb upward, spur on the economic growth and the flow of capital. Doesn't that sound like the better option?" Say nothing, simply smiling, giving an ambiguous nod. He had a point. My sympathy and guilt meant nothing to people actually experiencing hardship. If feeling guilty of my own fortune, I acted upon that pity in the way he had described, it would accomplish little more than self-satisfaction. He seemed to have seen straight to my very core. This was a man who had built his own fortune through investment, which I imagine required him to be rather astute. But doesn't a world where everyone is constantly trying to climb higher and higher seem rather exhausting? Hold on. Sorry, I was wiping my Cino. I personally would prefer to be in a position where I could watch, if only a distance as others climbed. Obviously, I could not say as much to him. Sometime later, the carriage came to a stop in front of the shop. As I looked at the building perplexedly, he gestured to the door with his chin, signaling for me to get out. Lost and confused, I stepped down from the carriage, and before me spread a showcase behind a large glass window. However, lined up in the case were not precious metals or expensive clothing, but machines. At first, I had no idea what kind of devices they were. Have you never had your photo taken before? No, I had a portrait painted though. Are those machines for taking the photographs? Portrait, eh? Why am I not surprised? I do not mean to boast. Go on, get in. Oh, please wait for me. The owner came out to greet us with a wide smile as we entered the shop. Well, if this ain't the strangest thing I've seen all day. You bringing a lady and a real looker at that. Where on earth you catch this pretty little thing? She's my wife. Huh? Well, I beg your pardon. I'll be a monkey's uncle. Just goes to show you never know where the cards may fall. You make it sound like getting married is some kind of miracle. I always saw you as one who choose money over love, sir. Oh, pardon me, this isn't appropriate to say in front of your wife. Do you often come to the shop? On occasion. I need some things here from time to time. I see. There you go, smirking once again. What's so funny? We're going to have our photo taken, yes? I'm so nervous, I'm excited. I've never had one before. And to have it taken side by side with you. What are you talking about? Pardon? You said we were getting our pictures taken. Side by side, please. You're sending shivers down my side. But this is a photography shop. Hey, shopkeep. The product I contacted you about. Is it ready? This guy sucks. I know. Oh, yep. Sit tight. I'll be right out. You take a seat. There's a chair over there. What? I'm going to show you something much more exciting than sitting still and waiting for another camera lens. Oh? Just do as I say. Okay. Sat down in front of a large mirror, which I presume was normally used to check your appearance before having your picture taken. Sitting before a mirror with something else present was quite nerve-wracking. I'm embarrassed when I dropped my gaze to my knees, but when Jacopo returned, I was entranced by the curious object in his hand. What is this? Oh, this is cute. Do you know what? Whoa, I just realized there's a huge cut on my leg. I have no idea where it came from. But it's like really, really long. Anyways, do you know what persistence of vision is? Human eye does not perceive the world 100% accurately. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Just, I was wondering why my leg was hurting so much, and I like looked, and I was like, whoa. This is especially true for objects in motion. It remembers images for a short time, so if you put a new image in the same place, your eyes perceives it as in motion. Seeing yourself will be faster than explaining it. See the slits in the disc? Slip through the bottom one into the mirror. Okay. Just like that, bring your head in close. Here goes. Standing behind me, slid his finger across the top of the peculiar toy, causing it to spin gracefully, and then so what do you see? They're dancing. A man and woman are dancing. Sound like you're not having trouble seeing it. Are they dancing well? Yes, they are. It's the most adorable thing. Oh, adorable. That's funny. I used to have it modeled after a ballroom dance. Yes, it's a very elegant dance, but you see, they're small, like little dwarfs, which I thought was kind of cute. They seem so close, going round and around with each other, without ever letting go of each other's hands. This is incredible. Why does it look like they're dancing? They were lined up in a row a few moments ago. Goodness, I just explained that to you. It's playing a trick on your eyes. What you're seeing is lots of different pictures in a short period of time. Put it into words you might understand better. It's an illusion. Your eyes are being fooled into thinking the image is moving. An illusion. But they're dancing, they really are. They look like they're having a wonderful time. Are you sure it's an illusion, not something else? To me, it does not seem to be. I cannot see it as anything but two tiny people dancing. That's how it works. Reach your hand out and try to grab them. You won't be able to. Oh, you're right. That's a shame. I didn't think you actually would. But it's the most precious thing. Hee hee. They look as though they're dancing atop my palm. Memorized by this strange phenomenon. Pictures were moving after all. Still images had begun dancing before me. It was almost as if God had breathed life into them. He had called it an illusion, but I could not grasp that. It was such an adorable, heartwarming sight. I imagined the two were living off some other world separate from our own. They looked so happy. I was almost certain that they were off dancing in their joyous world, free from all the sorrows and loneliness and pain of this one. And eventually the speed at which they danced began to slow, as if they were resting their legs, almost as if I could hear the sound of their feet with each step. Ah, they've stopped. They can dance forever, they don't get tired. See, I'm amazed such an incredible device exists in this world. Makes me wish I'd gone outside sooner. I'm sure someone as distinguished a house as yours has seen plenty of amazing things with your family. Hardly. I rarely ever left the house. I'm ignorant about the ways of the world. If you had not told me, I would have probably never known about moving pictures. The illusion of moving pictures. Do you like it? Yes, of course. More than the portrait you had painted? Yes, I do. The painting was wonderful too, but I can't seem to make up your mind. Go on, tell me, which do you like better, the portrait or this? I like this better. I see. He looks somewhat pleased. Though when it comes down to it, this is a simple trick only a child would fall for. I suppose that makes me a child. It means I get to watch something as splendid as two tiny people dancing. I'll happily fall for the trick. quit describing it as two tiny people dancing. You're going to lose your head that far up in the clouds. I'm sorry. I do not know how else to describe it, though. It's a toy called a phenakidoscope. 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 Phenakis wheel. Close enough. It was invented around 30 years ago. I had the shopkeep make one modeled after the original design. So the shop owner drew this? He did. A lot better than you'd expect, isn't he? Yes, indeed. I'm surprised he could draw something so cute. Say that to his face and he'll go red as a bee. But I'd give to get a load of that. You should tell him that next time you see him. He's a sweet man. Despite how he looks, you mean? It's not right to judge people based on their appearance. Haha, I'm just kidding. Don't take it too seriously. The shopkeeper here loves new technology. The phenakidoscope is one such invention that caught his eye. It can trick the eye into thinking drawings are moving. Using a sequence of photos, you can make it seem as though real people are moving. And if it becomes possible to show those images to many people at once, these developments could broaden the options artists have to express themselves. Not drawings, but photographs? Yes, photos. By taking hundreds, perhaps thousands of photographs, it would be possible to reproduce the world as we see it, this room, people walking down the streets. There's no point in recording boring everyday life, though. If you're going to leave a record of anything behind, it should be the projects and enterprises that move nations. Say, for example, a moving record of the opening ceremony of the railroad. That would be something worth watching. Then in time, it would expand beyond a mere record-keeping technology and find its way into the hands of artists. Such a thing possible. It must remain for a long time to take a single photograph. Right now it isn't, but eventually it will be. And I'm not simply fantasizing here, is that so? Sounds very futuristic. Do you want to support people who work on that sort of thing? Is that why you're friends with the owner? It's nothing to do with my wants. I really think there's money in it. There's rich starve for entertainment. The artists create the entertainment. No interest in their pretentious self-expression. Just want their money. Hee hee. What's so funny? Act like you're enjoying yourself. Honestly, it's just about the money. As you say. I think I'm gonna save here. Maybe I'll play some Genshin after this, and we can play together, Strange. Alright, let's get moving. Next is dinner. What? We're leaving already? Does that displease you? No, not at all. Tell you the truth, I want to spend a little more time playing with the Fenakis wheel, but I could not bring myself to say as much. Reluctantly, I approached the no need to force yourself, Faye. If you feel tired, it's fine. Oh no, we can play it for a little bit. I don't mind playing it for a little bit. I just don't know how long I'll play. But thank you. You guys are always so nice. Oh yeah, 3 more days till Star Rail. Oh crap. Reluctantly, I approached the owner to return the wheel. Don't bother. Bring it with you. Whoa, too soon. But if you don't want it, that's fine too. Just make your decision quickly. You're making the driver wait. Having said that, Jacopo exited the shop. I alternated between looking at his back and the Fenakis wheel, debating what I wanted to do. Pre-download is already available? Oh wow, I'll have to do that off stream. And then with a smile, the owner whispered to me, "You're allowed to keep it, really. Your husband out there had it made as a gift for you." For me? A little while back, he came into my shop asking if I could make a phenakistoscope. Now that about knocked me out of my chair. He's a man who almost never asks for favors. He's pretty damn brusque. He's got a tongue sharp enough to cut steel, but he's not wicked to his core, I swear it. So please, man, be a pillar of support for him. Pillar, sorry. In that moment, the Fennecis wheel became a precious treasure to me. We had only just married days earlier, and yet he had commissioned it for me without even knowing what I looked like. I was filled with a warm, pleasant elation. I agreed with the owner. Jacopo was not a bad man. He had merely difficulty expressing himself. Hurrying back to the carriage, I wonder if his parents are dead. Gave him my deepest thanks. He glanced over at me for a moment, then turned back towards the window and muttered, yeah. From there we went to a restaurant for dinner. You call this a pizza? This crust is an atrocity. It's like I'm chewing on rubber. How can you wave my country's flag and not serve spaghetti? Do you have any shame at all? This wine is pitifully unbalanced, far too high levels of acidity. Listen to me carefully. The house wine is the face of a restaurant. He complained about every little thing. It was a complete disaster, but curiously enough, I was not at all put off by his behavior. He's probably critiquing everything because he wants to show off in front of her. When the sun set, the carriage made its way to a nearby hill. The cool nighttime breeze felt wonderful on my skin, flushed from the alcohol, and the light from the gas lamps had a comforting warmth to it. Though Jacopo had complained about the quality of the wine, once he had intoxicated himself, his mood improved visibly. It made him unexpectedly talkative. Look out at the city. The gloomy town that shuts down at night isn't suited to expansion or growth, but the city isn't like that. You can see people walking beneath the lamps, and you can hear the bustle of them talking. This is a city that still has plenty of room to grow. As they ride the rising wave of the economy, many, many more people will gather here. More people means more money in circulation. More money in circulation means the city grows, more companies are founded, more goods are brought and sold. Will it really change so drastically? It can be difficult to see what's happening from the inside. The majority of the people just go about their daily lives. Sorry. And the next thing they know, things are different. No, I'd wager most don't notice the changes at all. Only those with eyes sharp enough to realize what's happening can see success. I cannot afford to overlook even the most minute change. Do you have a dream of some kind? A dream? I'm not sure if it's easy enough to attain to call a dream. Others might call it greed or perhaps ambition. Don't laugh now. My intention is to make the world mine. The world? Yes, the world. And to do that, you need physical strength nor kindness, but money and influence. People have no choice but to kneel before those forces. Why are you so intent on obtaining power? My dear, with my parents' slave mines, I'm gonna invest into the future, electric carriages, then maybe space, crypto coin, Twitter. Stop! Not the space stuff. Moon expedition, Kraus style. Because I want to change my country, I imagine. Your country. You are aware that I, like you, am an immigrant, right? I emigrated from an island in the Mediterranean, though not the same island as you. My country is a peculiar place where candor and violence go hand in hand. As a whole, the country is on the poor side, and if nobody does anything about that, I am one but few of my fellow countrymen who sets his sights on the New World. They are falling far behind other nations. If I find success here, perhaps that will catch their attention, but if it doesn't, then my country is doomed to collapse. Cross noises. Oh, we're in America? I think so. You have much love for your homeland. My feelings are a little more complicated than mere love. That's nothing you needn't concern yourself with. Well, I have to remember not to get myself drunk around with women again. Forget everything I just said. So it's time we head back to the house. Alright, but what is it? Is it alright if I provide you encouragement as you try to attain your dream? I know my presence is more likely to be a hindrance, but I'd like to be there to watch as you trek forward. I suppose, do as you wish. Thank you. You have my support then. Darling? Sent a shiver down my spine, though not an unpleasant one. I'm glad to have you as my partner. I was without a doubt happy then. His smile, the things he said, the fanacus wheel he gave me, they were all undeniably real. And those memories gave me the will to wait for the day things to go back to the way they were. They allowed me to believe. I wonder why things changed. This is something that actually happened to another maid. She heard a sound in the middle of the night, sound like dripping water. First she thought it was raining, so she looked through the window, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky to cover the stars. Maybe it's a faucet, she thought, so she stepped out of her room and into the corridor. Compared to her room, it was unearthly chilly. The maid regretted not bringing something to cover herself with. But that didn't make any sense. Normally the temperature wasn't much colder outside her room. Her nightclothes had always been more than enough for a trip to the lavatory. Wondering what the reason could be, she made her way towards something, but then she realized there are no faucets in the direction it's probably blood, right? There are no faucets in the direction she was going, rather she was headed towards a hall. The mansion where she served had many halls, but this one was off, far in a corner of the house, the least used hall of all of them. Had a high roof, but not a lot of space, so it was difficult to make good use of. It also had a somewhat heavy air to it, a very curious room. It's the kind of place you might assign someone to clean as part of their hazing. Anyway, when the maid realized the sound was coming from that particular hall, she, as you might expect, let out an uncomfortable sigh. There might be a leak, and having noticed, she couldn't simply ignore it, you know? So as much as she hesitated, she pushed open the doors to the hall. There was nobody there. It didn't look like it was leaking either. There were no puddles or water stains anywhere to be found. Oh, this is creepy. Oh, Bunny's faster on the uptake than I am. I could be wrong. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't know what's happening. But she could still hear the sound, drip, drip, getting louder and louder. Slowly stepping further into the room, looking left then right, then left again, she searched for the source of the sound, coming to a stop in the center of the hall. She stood there quiet, then a chilly spot on the nape of her neck. With a little yelp, she reached back to feel her neck, but it wasn't wet. Confused, slowly, warily, she tilted her head backwards. Ooh. There hung a bloody skeleton from the ceiling. Gah. Wahaha, that's rich. Amazing. Oh my god, you scream like a little girl. Spooky, scary skeletons. Maria, you little... Oh my god, are you men or children? This is my house, and I'd rather you didn't talk about it like that. What were those? Whose words were those again? Shut your mouth. How'd you even know about that? Were you eavesdropping? Another thing, I do not care for that sort of stupid, fantastical tales you women so love to pass around. Because they scare you? Ah, you've never been able to handle anything scary, Jacopo. Boy, don't glare at me like that. You're gonna destroy my sides. So, did you get me for the sole purpose of telling me that cheap tripe? Acting tough after the fact just makes you look twice as much or worse. I mean, I did make up a good half of it, but the maid really did hear a sound in the middle of the night. Came from the back hall of this very mansion. Did you know? They say it used to be a chapel. Again, I have no interest in your woman's little ghost stories. Is that so? Sure you're just not scared? Maria. Well, that said, the rumors are completely unfounded. This is a pretty old mansion, and it's had a lot of work done on it. And it feels like it's barely holding itself together. Like a big old quote with pieces from all different time periods. The back hall is one of the oldest patches. There's a huge window on the far end. Supposedly there used to be stained glass in it. It was a depiction of the Archangel, they say. Such a shame. I wonder when it was broken. If it was still there, I bet it'd be worth a fortune. We do a little trolling. I find it hard to believe. First of all, why would anyone put a chapel inside a mansion? I don't know. Ask fucking Kinzo. Got a point, I guess. Now, how about you do some actual work instead of distracting yourself with all this nonsense? I do work, but the other maids can be a bit nasty, you know? Dealing with other women is like walking on glass. Am I to blame for that? What if I said you were? Don't give me that look. There's no fun with me, simple as that. Nothing you can do about it. Is that so? Oh yeah, I was talking to Madam. She's telling me you used to be quite the gentleman. Were you perhaps actually in love back then? Sure, don't act like it, so it's easy to miss, but I guess you're not entirely made out of steel. Just like when you were younger, you're still. Do not speak of that. Past is not worth remembering. It is unnecessary. So to you, the past exists just to be cast aside? No, it's so important. You don't want to talk about it. I won't talk about it. But your wife, never mind. I'll leave you be. I have to get back to work soon, or I'll be staring down the head maid's Arctic smile. Alright. If fancy strikes me, I'll drop by and we can trade more ghost stories. Maria. Oh, I know ghost stories. No, not that. I have not forgotten those days. But no, I'll be off then. Alright. If the fancy strikes you, drop by, we can trade something other than ghost stories. What'd I tell you? I'll consider it. Goodbye. Damn, you not happy. God damn it, I can't escape anything. They've grown to be so beautiful. Such a wonderful fragrance. The scent of roses are so calming. Wonder why that is. Would it cause anyone trouble if I picked one? Well, hello there. Out for a midnight stroll, are you? Well, this has happened before. Quite the peculiar hobby, madam. I cannot spend as much time as I would like outside during the day. Hi, maid. The song reminds me of Ben Drowned. This maid can't be any good. I trust her. But, you know, I don't know if you can trust my judgment of people. I cannot spend as much time as I would like outside during the day, so I end up coming out at night. I apologize if I startled you. Oh no, not at all. There's a chilling, captivating beauty to the sight of your snow-white form, sitting there in the moonlit garden. I would hardly... what are you doing out so late? I saw a figure through the window. On the slight chance it might be a burglar, I thought it my responsibility to ensure they did not break in. A lot of pale-eyed girls in this game. It was also the middle of the night when the grocer's servant broke into their safe. News of that spread quite far. I'm sure you would have heard about it. Oh, but Jemish was in prison some time ago. Dear me, I cannot seem to get my head out of the past. Do you intend to give that white rose to someone? Yes. Thinking about giving it to my husband. What I expect his little fondness for such feminine taste, the scent of flowers has a truly calming effect. You might find it relaxing when he needs a reprieve from his work. Oh, is that so? You're very kind-hearted. Speaking of white roses, the rose he meant to give you was the same shade of white. Oh, when you touched it, it turned a deep shade of red. Yeah, I remember that. There's but a single white rose in the garden, so he's unable to give it to you as he wished. In its place, he had decorated Rosen's fashion review. What exactly are you referring to? Oh dear, do you not remember? Am I to assume you've forgotten what happened to the rose accessory as well? His enemy would give you that either. By that time, because you rejected the gift. I'm not criticizing you for that decision, of course. You had a perfectly good reason for not accepting it. Heartbroken from having lost you, he buried the rose in this garden. Over the years, the roses in the garden withered away, and in their place grew a thick, unsightly nest of weeds. What was that? In the store? No, that was in door 1. Many, many years later, that accessory was dug up by a beast, and curiously enough, it had not a speck of rust on it. A beast? Do you not remember him either? The foreign man who, through his interaction with you, almost regained his humanity. I'm sorry, I have no idea what you speak of. The only gift I've ever received from a man is my Phoenacus wheel. Furthermore, I've only lived in this mansion for a year. While the garden is not thriving as it is now, it was certainly not in ruins when I arrived. Because I'd been taking care of it, yes. But for whatever reason, my hands alone, I was unable to make into anything quite as splendid as it is now. Once you arrive and began to work on it, however, just look around, you have restored it to its former glory, to the magnificence of the flaxen-haired family's time. Promise I'm not trying to fault you for anything. Now that I think about it, it makes sense you would not remember. Though you are still you, you are different than before. Different, though not in the sense that you are a wholly distinct person. Tell me, is your name Morgana again? My name is Morgana, yes, but you should already know that. Again? More proof that you are indeed you. Did you know that your current name is pronounced the same as the name of the person you were waiting for? What are you talking about? I've met you many times, I know of your past. Events that transpired long, long ago. I am telling you the truth. I first came to this mansion just a year ago. Till then, I never left my country or even set foot out of my house. We did not have any servants either. So then where are you saying we met? This mansion, of course. But I'm telling the truth. So a year ago, shortly after my parents fell ill and received an offer for my marriage. I knew something had to be done. I knew it, so I am telling the truth. If that is what you remember, then I do not doubt you. But I also suspect I know why you seem so flustered. Are there moments where your memory seems hazy? When it seems like important details have fallen through the cracks? You needn't fret. One day eventually you shall remember all. One day. The hell is this? A white rose? She leave this here? A flower? What does she think she's doing? Is she trying to aggravate me? Aww, the garden. Damn rose garden is the whole problem. Flowers serve no purpose but to deceive. The garden is a sign of weakness. It has no place in this house. What if some girls like I knew you in your past life, you were so sweet just like you are now? Well, I would say thank you. That's so nice of you. Approximately a week had passed since then. I'd be like, I hope this is my last fucking life. I don't want to deal with this again. The white-haired girl was, as usual, spending her time in her room reading, staying inside the house. Then Maria barged in. You're thinking this has got to be such a weird scam. Madam. Oh my, you're out of breath. What happened? What happened is we have a big problem. The garden, the rose garden. The garden. All the roses you put so much love and care to are being chopped down. We'll lose them all if we don't hurry. Upon hearing the news, the white-haired girl dashed from her room towards the garden, and Maria following close behind. When she arrived, she saw a dozen or so sweaty, rugged men at work. Jacopo was shouting orders. The men had clearly no concept of how much a single flower was worth, no concern whatsoever for their beauty, for they mercilessly, thoughtlessly hacked away at the shrubs like they were naught but weeds. Each flower tore from the earth extinguished another of many lives that the white-haired girl had put so much time and effort tending for. Jacob, what are you? Oh, hello, Maria. I didn't expect you would come with her. Why would you? Why? It goes without saying, this house has no need of a garden. And flowers have no place here. Might as well do something worthwhile with the soil. Miniature railroad would be much better use of the space, and certainly a great deal easier on the eyes. I can even get my hands on some genuine wheels. The same wheels being used on the revolutionary transcontinental railroad. 10 or 20 years down the line, they'll be worth a fortune. Jacob, you know how much this garden meant to me, don't you? Did it honestly have no place here? Maybe he wants to kill the singing. Flowers have a calming effect on people. They give you peace. You're not by means worthless. So you're saying that white rose is your passive-aggressive way of telling me to calm down? Not at all. I simply thought that you, at the end of the day, you're just trying to use them for your own purposes. Chicken to deceive. Gee, this girl's eye was nothing but Jacopo. Gone too far. This isn't right. Gone too far. This is my mansion. What I do with my property is my business. With that rose arch out of the picture, we'll have a much better view. There won't be anything blocking the sun any longer. Weren't you supposed to be sensitive to sunlight? Spend too much time out here and you're liable to fall ill. Get back inside now, you too, Maria. Why is he so mean? He wants to kill a few roses for a toy. Poor thing. She don't say a word, surely thinking, are you truly that determined to rob me of my sanctuary? The words twirled around in her head, unable to make a final journey to her lips. She stood there looking down at her own feet as her husband marched off. Listened to the screams of the roses being reaped. After being torn down by Jacopo, the garden reverted into a state of ruined desolation. I guess he wants to stop her being nice to him. Guilt? Maybe. Shame. After all the work that went into restoring the beauty it had under the flaxen-haired family. As Jacopo had said, in its place went scraps of metal, train wheels, prototype models, carven rods. Items may have had value for him, but I certainly do not think it was worth robbing his wife of a place that made her feel comfortable just so he could store them there. Besides, I was rather fond of the rose garden myself. The roses seemed to evoke a sense of nostalgia in me. I felt as though somewhere far beyond the edge of my memories I'd seen another garden of roses, modest though it may have been. I cannot remember when it was. Does that come as a surprise to you? Quite sure there are periods of the mansion's history which I am not aware. But in any case, Jacopo had caused many people great pain in order to repurpose that garden for himself. He continued to walk all over his wife. Whenever she tried to do something kind for him, he would brush her off, saying, "That's not your place." He paid no mind whatsoever to the looks of dejection that rose to her face each time he rejected her. I was beginning to wonder if anything she said about the man he had been a year earlier was actually true. And if it was true, could a person really go through such a drastic change of heart in such a short time? What do you think, Master? I know I've spoken enough about me already. I seem to be talking a lot about myself this time, but that's hardly appropriate behavior for me. Now let us return to our tale. That evening, the white-haired girl sat in her room, staring sorrowfully at her Fanaka's wheel. The small mirror before her tried spinning the paper disc, but it was just not the same as before. Her husband was not there at her side, and even more critically, there was not even a smile on her face. Then she heard a faint knock on her door. "Who is it?" "It's me, madam, it's me. May I come in?" "Oh, Maria, of course, come in. What are you doing here at this time of night?" "Hee, was just wondering how you were doing. Should I have left you alone?" "Oh, it's no trouble at all. I'm always glad to have you. You're making me blush, madam. Get the feeling you're a little down in the dumps, so I'm not here because I need to be. Just kinda ended up here, I guess. Maria." "Sorry, I'm not making any sense. I can be a bit of a busybody, you know. Trouble with boundaries, I guess. Never been able to fix that. No, I don't consider you intrusive at all. And cheerful energy have shone a light on me when things were dark. If I didn't have you, I would have given up already. You seem to see right through me. Even now, you are exactly right. I am feeling a little dispirited. The garden was an even bigger life raft than I thought. Perhaps I'm being overly dramatic, but the roses were almost like children to me. I get it, I do. You put your heart and soul into tending to that garden. It is obvious how much you love them. Of course it's gonna hurt. Sorry, I was doing something. Watching a bunch of men stomp all over your flowers when you cared for them like your own children. Now I know I said this once already, but you don't need to force yourself to put up with him, really. You don't need to bend to his will just because you're a woman. You can survive without him. Anytime you want to walk away, that's your choice. I mean, I'd surely be lonely if you left, madam, but your happiness is more important than any of that. So you know? Thank you, Maria. I truly do appreciate it. But I'd like to wait for the day I could see his warm smile once more. Maria Zeroan, if you say so. Well, in that case, I guess I'll just have to be there to back you up. It'll be alright, you leave everything to this holy virgin. I'll have a stupid grin on my face no matter how down you're feeling. Doubt. You really are the reincarnation of the Mother of God, aren't you? Oh, I told you it's a doubt. It's a joke. Whatever. So hey, madam, how about a dance? A dance at this time of night? Yep, and since it's late, no loud music. All you get is a little whistling courtesy of me. This room is too small for. We'll use the Great Hall. One that put us in everyone else's way. He would probably complain about the noise too. No need to worry. Jacob's out inspecting some factory or something today. After that, he's got a meeting, so he'll be staying the night elsewhere. The rest of the maids are What do you guys mean? What's wrong with Maria? Yeah, what the hell, me and stranger? Like, what? I will say that it seems rather odd for two women to dance together. Nothing. Is she gonna try to force herself on the poor girl? Is she gonna, like, get with Jacopo or something? What the fuck? Oh, if you're having a good time, what does it matter what's between your legs? Oh, where I come from, there's dances where families lock arms in a big ring and go around in circles. So who says two girls can't have some fun together? Never mind, maybe she is gonna hit on her. I imagine you had many good moments with your family. Oh yeah, that's fun. Well, I don't have a family anymore. What? Alright, I'll show you how it's done. Watch carefully, because you're up next. Oh, okay. Is that... Uh-oh. Is she like a psychopath? With a wide grin on her face, Maria began whistling softly and prancing across the floor with an energetic rhythm. It's not the kind of complicated dance you'd see at fancy parties. The emotions were simple, flowing, and unembellished. A folk dance, I suppose you might call it. She seemed to be improvising a little bit as well. But at any event, the white-haired girl was captivated. Despite it being a sequence of steps anyone could replicate, Maria breathed life into the dance. She was neither as lithe as an acrobat, nor as light on her feet as a professional dancer. She was her own lively, beautiful self. Maria twirled in place, the skirt of her maid uniform billowing gently up around her. With a smile, she extended her hand towards the white-haired girl. She hesitated for a moment as if being pulled forward by some invisible force. She took Maria's hand. This part of the song is ridiculous. Why did they do that? Hand in hand, Maria ushered the white-haired girl into dance. Just the two of them, but you could almost see the crowd forming around them. This music is 40 years early, too. The other people stepping up to join in. That's it, madam. Doing great. Now lift up your leg. Good. And spin like so. This is not easy, Maria. I'm having trouble following along. You can do it. You're looking good so far. You're a natural, madam. Oh, Maria, I won't fall for your flattery. I mean it. The whispers of two girls. They muffled laugh. Step, hop, step. The rustling of fabric, many different soft sounds layered on top of one another, creating a little bubble of happiness in the center hall. The white-haired girl's movements were a great deal clumsier than Maria's, but Maria would never disparage her for that. On the contrary, she showered her with praise. As flustered as the white-haired girl appeared, I imagined she was quite pleased. Before long, the tightness in her face muscles loosened and a smile spread across her lips, and she began to brighten up. See what I tell you, fun, huh? Yes, I'm quite surprised, both that I can dance and I am enjoying it. And that I enjoy doing it so much. Glad to hear it. They exchanged looks and both laughed. That might have been the first time I had ever seen the white-haired girl so delighted. That was going super long with no mistakes quickly too. Pretty good. Oh, thank you. However, because of her infirmity, she quickly found herself out of breath. Her porcelain skin flushed red. Maria immediately stopped for a break. She could surely have continued dancing for some time yet, but Maria was conscientious of the white-haired girl's physical condition. She looked over Maria regretfully. My apologies, if only I had more stamina. I am hardly a suitable partner for you, Maria. Sure you are. This is all to cheer you up, madam, so as long as you're having fun, nothing else matters. And heck, I'm enjoying myself plenty too. What do you think? Wouldn't it be nice to do this again sometime? Whenever you're feeling down, let's dance. If you really do enjoy dancing with a frail girl like me, then I'd be glad to. Have a little more confidence in yourself, madam. You're so pretty and kind-hearted. I have loads of fun when I'm with you, so you don't need to be so hard on yourself, got it? Thank you. Pleasure is mine. Absolute honor to have the rare opportunity to see such a bright smile on your face, madam. Hee hee, my apologies for keeping you out so late. I should get back to my room. Oh, I didn't even realize what time it was. I'm more than up for a little more gum flopping. You have improved my mood more than adequately. I don't want you to be tired for work tomorrow. Oh, okay. Well then, let's get out of here. Yes, let's. Smiles on both their faces, they made to exit the great hall. However, before they reached the door, it swung open. A man's towering shadow cast the two women into darkness, his cold, bitter glare fixed on them. If I'd had even the faintest premonition this might happen, I would have done anything in my power to stop the two cheery girls on their way to the hall. But I am eternally powerless. Yeah, happiness, mirth. What is mirth? I think not. What are you doing? Standing before them in the doorway was the master of the house, Jacopo. I thought you would not be back until tomorrow. And how would you know that? No, forget that. Does my staying the night elsewhere have any effect on you? You were waiting for this opportunity, weren't you? No, what would I possibly want you out of the house for? I'm sure you know better than anyone. What? What is this smell? Perfume? Where did you get perfume? I have to say, you seem to be having quite the time. Look at you, out of breath, red as a bee. I made the right decision coming back. Where the hell were you going? I know I wasn't going. Jacopo, calm down seriously. You shut it. Now you're taking this tramp's side. I told you before you were not to leave this house first without consulting me, or do you mean to tell me you've forgotten? God, your ears just aren't for show, alright. They're better than that. They'll even throw out the parts you don't want to hear. How dare you? Oh, a synonym for happiness. How dare you feeling happy? Oh God. I swear we weren't doing anything new. Silence, I have no interest in your excuses. You're always watching from the shadows, observing, trying not to step on anyone's toes. And in the back of your mind, you're mocking me. No, Listen up and listen good. You just try stepping out of line again. You just try disgracing me again. You will not get away with it. For the love of God, get back to your room now. You too, Maria. Alright. God, what is that sickeningly sweet smell? How utterly infuriating. I'll take it forever to get this off from me. I always thought you had at least some sense of taste. Why did you have to disparage her so? What had she done wrong? What did she do to deserve that? She had done nothing wrong whatsoever. She deserved none of the ridicule he showered her with. Why are you so insecure and irritable, bro? I know, right? However, she was not a strong-willed woman. She did not have the courage to retort to the man yelling at her, and neither did Maria, it seemed. Without another word, they both scrambled out of the great hall away from Jacopo. The white-haired girl was a painfully miserable sight to behold. The cheer had drained from her spirit, the rosy hue from her now pale cheeks. I wonder why. Oh my God. She was hunched forward slightly, looking like a small scared animal. If only I can talk. Say, sorry, this is all my fault. If I hadn't asked you to dance, me bringing the perfume only made things worse. No, you need not feel bad about anything, Maria. Everything you did was at my best interests at heart. So don't worry, I will be fine. So, madam, I'll clear everything up. I'm really to blame after all. He wouldn't give you the time of day if you tried. He's stubborn little shit when he's mad. Talk to him, he's more likely to listen to me. I'll make sure he knows he was jumping to conclusion. I'm the one who dragged you out there to dance. She smells like her perfume now. Did they do more than dance? No, I don't think so. And also did I force you to wear the perfume? I'll clear everything up, Kay? No, please, you cheer up. It'd be best if I could tell him myself. But yes, you're right. He would likely not listen to me. He rarely ever listens to me. I should be ashamed. I cannot hold a simple conversation with my own husband. These things happen, you know? It's not easy being married in a lot of ways. Yes, you're right. Apologize for having you do something unpleasant, but I would appreciate that. Oh no, not a problem. I'm happy to. No need to apologize. I've got this. I'll dunk his head in cold water until he's blowing steam from his ears anymore. I'll cool him down, promise. You never knew. No, maybe he'll be open to listening. You could be back to the way things were a year ago in no time. Don't you worry, I'll take care of it, madam. Be positive. You look so much better with a smile on your face. Alright, thank you. I doubt Jacopo would listen, even coming from Maria. I imagine the white-haired girl felt much the same way. However, she grabbed onto that sliver of hope. She let herself dream. She let herself believe, even just faintly, that everything would go well. Such is human nature. When uncertainty has you in its clutches, you grasp at whatever hope you can find yourself afloat. To keep yourself afloat. That night she did not sleep. She was afraid that even in her dreams, Jacopo would be shouting at her. She felt as though her memories of a year prior were beginning to crumble away. I'm really interested and I want to keep going, but I think I'm going to pause here.